I know this is a tough chapter of your story, but when grandma was in New York, you guys were staying with your her mom?
She left us with my grandmother, uh, along with all of our five kids, plus my grandmother had a number of children of her own
Mm-hmm.
in a very, very small, ramshackle place. I don't know how we did it. Um,
And what do you remember where that was?
that was in Patillas,
Patias, right?
right,
That's
which
the
is
family farm.
the family farm, yes. Uh, and she sent money periodically to my grandmother for our upkeep, which turned out not to happen. But that's
Yeah, so you said that grandma, your mom had a dream that you guys weren't getting the money.
that's good. That we weren't doing well,
Yeah.
and that my grandmother used the funds that she received from my mother on her children. Uh, so I don't necessarily blame her. Uh, that has to be your priority, your children, as opposed to your grandchildren. At least I believe that's how she felt about it.
I mean, I don't know. It's understandable that there probably wasn't enough to go around, and so,
Oh, there wasn't.
but at the same time, I don't think most grandmas would be favoring one
Her
kid over
children,
another, you know,
I don't, their children, no. It's not one kid over another. It's their
their children over
children
their grandchildren.
versus their children's children, right? At least I don't know. It's a very tough question, um, and if I try to put myself in her place, I don't know that I would have done anything different. I just don't know. It, 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 I'm a different person, and so maybe I would have done it differently. But I didn't hold it against her.
I mean, I think that it's obvious that she was in a pretty tough spot. Like, I think um this the struggle of people living on the island in that time period, it was really real. So I think that in that sense it was understandable. I know that I told you I spoke to Gladys about that experience and she had some strong words for
About it.
for my great grandmother about it.
Well, she was older.
She was older, so she was
She
able to
was,
witness it. Yeah.
yes, and whereas my sister Margaret and I were the youngest, and I don't know that we were aware of what was going on as much as the older kids knew and were aware of things.
Right. So your mom has a dream that you guys are not doing well, and she has this dream, she books a ticket back to San Juan, and then what happens?
Well, she brought the tickets for all of us and also her youngest sister, my aunt Lucia, uh, and she didn't let on that she knew what was going on when she was there. She treated her mother, with the due respect and so forth. And so we weren't there very long when she was there. When we all left with everything that we owed, which wasn't much, and went to New York. And we lived in Spanish Harlem for a
Hmm.
number of years.
Yeah, you were telling me that you really identify with the movie West Side Story.
Yes, because the experience that they portray uh, was a very, very, very realistic. It was the way it was in the late 40s and 50s, and maybe even to the 60s.
Hmm.
I was there in the 60s, but um, there were turf wars among the groups.
Hmm.
Uh, you had the Italian neighborhood, you had Spanish Harlem, which was predominantly Spanish, uh, the Spanish side of Harlem,
Hmm.
because Harlem was mostly black, but we had a small piece of about I think it was about 10 blocks that made up Spanish Harlem,
Mm-hmm.
But we were adjacent to the Italian neighborhood, and you learn very quickly that when you walked, and we had to walk through the Italian neighborhood to get to the subway to go
Mm-hmm.
anywhere. Uh, but you always went in groups for protection,
Mm.
and they would call you all kinds of names, Spics primarily, uh, and so you begin to deal with uh, that kind of prejudice that was in existence at that time,
Yeah. And you that hit you pretty early.
very early. Like I said, I was 7 years old at that time.